to think that Concacaf is going to do anything. We've been waiting for Concacaf to do anything for 30 years. We've been waiting, right? I mean, they don't do anything about the chant, and I know it offends people, and like they just what Concacaf is going to do is put out another statement. That's what we're going to get.
Let's talk about everybody else. And I'm going to give the results, then we'll go back to the first game that I mentioned. Mexico go down to Honduras, and 0-0 at half. They had some chances. And Menjivar, the goalkeeper for Honduras, made some incredible saves. The guy was on fire. And Honduras, Luis Palma comes off the bench. A minute later, he scores. He scores another one later. 2-0 Honduras with a big win. I want to get into that game a little bit more. But we'll also talk Surinam, Canada 1-0. Canada needed to get a goal in the 81st, 82nd minute to unlock Surinam to win that one 1-0. Jonathan David had the assist, much to Charlie's chagrin, I'm sure. And then Costa Rica, Panama, that pretty much was what I expected it to be. That was a dogfight. Very difficult to really create any dangerous opportunities or too many dangerous opportunities. Set pieces end up making the difference. This one was on a penalty. Vargas trips Carrasquilla in the box, and Panama go on to win 1-0 away from home. I feel for Costa Rica a little bit. They lost their manager, Gustavo Alfaro, to Paraguay, who just helped them win against Argentina. So that was a good hire from Paraguay, but disappointing for Costa Rica, who feel like they're still a little bit in transition, and they probably felt like they deserved at least a draw in that game. But it's not easy. I guess go back to Honduras, Mexico. In this game also, Javier Aguirre, the coach from Mexico, got hit with a full beer can as he went to go shake the Honduran coach's hand, and his head started bleeding, like his head exploded. There's blood everywhere. It's absolutely crazy. And FMF had put out a statement, Tones, that said the FMF unequivocally condemned the act of violence that occurred tonight at the Francisco Morazan Stadium in San Pedro Sula. Such behavior has no place in our sports. We demand that CONCACAF take immediate and decisive action to address this matter in accordance with its regulations. Soccer should be a celebration, not a battleground. We urge all parties, including institutions, managers, players, fans, and the media, to work together to create a safe and respectful environment for everyone involved. Yikes. I mean, that just takes away from what should be a very special night for Honduras. And I'm disappointed that the fans took it to that level. I don't know your thoughts on that game, that moment.
Well, the moment sucks, right? And sucks. You're right. It takes away from Honduras, but to think that CONCACAF is going to do anything. We've been waiting for CONCACAF to do anything for 30 years. We've been waiting, right? I mean, they don't do anything about the chant, and I know it offends people, and like they just what CONCACAF is going to do is put out another statement. That's what we're going to get. And right. Javier Aguirre, what did he say after I saw him? He said, "Well, it's football, right?"
Yeah, he just said it's fine. Basically paraphrasing. It's fine. It's part of the game.
I don't know that helps, though. I don't know that helps anything.
That's this guy likes it when I throw stuff at him. Let's throw projectiles at him.
There's that guy down there that said he likes this stuff because it's just
part of the sport.
But I understand I'm guessing he probably just wanted to diffuse this thing as quickly as possible and not make it a big thing. Look, his team lost, right? So don't want to make any excuses about it. It's certainly a tough task now. But if you wanted to give Mexico fuel for the fire, you did it, right? Some idiot fan did it for Honduras. Now you're giving Mexico every reason to fight back in this thing, and you would imagine they're going to put up a fight here. Not a great result at all. Not an expected result at all. Looking at their team, still kind of the same sort of setup that they've had for a couple of 2 years now that they've been complaining about. Yeah. So they also, as a nation, have a lot of work to do right now.
Yeah, when I think about the goals they gave up, the first one was a bad giveaway by Montes, the center back, and fair play to Honduras for taking advantage to get a shot from outside the box. Ochoa parries it, goes right to Palma, and he scores. It happens, right? Tough environment, difficult fields, your opportunities that you're creating. Quiones had a great chance that got saved by Menjivar in goal. That would have made it 1-0 for Mexico at that time. And the game switches on these subs that came on for Honduras. Palma was a sub. A minute later, he scores. And now the whole momentum changes. What I'm disappointed most, I think, in Mexico is the fact that they couldn't manage the game, knowing that, hey, this is just the first half, and that they allowed themselves to get scored on again. A pretty basic counterattack, all things considered, where either they got to foul somebody at midfield and just slow the play down, but they let the play develop. Palma just gets it, cuts in again from the left to the right, and just like, I think he basically passes it in from 20 yards out. It just felt too easy, And if and that's what I would be most frustrated about if I was a Mexican fan. That second goal could kill you on that second leg. Now Honduras has a little bit of a gap. Yeah, sure, the whole cliche, it's the most dangerous lead in soccer and so on and so forth. Mexico were in this position last year, Concacaf Nations League quarterfinals. They had to go back to Azteca in leg 2 and had 20 plus minutes of injury time to find that winning goal that they needed to get through or whatever, which is crazy. But and they ended up getting through. But I don't know. Do you think this is the first loss under Aguirre since he's been returned, his third time in charge of coaching El Tri? Do you think they can turn it around this time? Because I like this Honduran team. I think they got some like a spark to them, some real belief that they could probably go into Mexico City and get a result.
Yeah, and they're going to make it. Are they playing this one in Mexico City? I thought they weren't playing this one in Mexico City. I could be wrong on that, but I don't know why. Because I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking when I saw this schedule, I don't remember why I thought, like, why wouldn't you play in Mexico City? But again, I could be wrong on this. But
they are playing in Toluca.
Okay, yeah.
Toluca's home stadium and not at Azteca.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember having this conversation in my head going, why wouldn't they play in Mexico City? Maybe they can't draw anymore, right? Maybe they just can't draw fans anymore, which is which is scary, right? We saw it in the last series of games that they had. Yeah, it's a lot of work to do. By the way, the whole you mentioned that 2-0 scary lead. Like, give me a 2-0 lead anytime, and I'll deal with the consequences. Right? I'll start the game 2-0 if you want. Like, I'll deal with it anytime. People only say it like when it goes bad, right? No one talks about it when the 2-0 turns into 4-0 at the end of the game. The 2-0 lead wasn't that bad, but anyway. Aguirre has a lot of work to do with this group, and I think they've known now that they've had a lot of work to do with this group. Keep in mind, though, this Honduran side, they've got some. You mentioned Menjivar, right? He's been at his club,
Olympia,
for like 100 years. I feel like we're covering him in Concacaf forever. Nahar, we know. Maldonado, we know. Rosales, he's the kid who plays in Minnesota, right? So they've got some players in this group that. Right now, they've got the bit between their teeth a little bit, and we're still seeing sort of the same names: Pineda, Raul Jimenez, Quinones, you mentioned, Huerta, who I think is a really exciting player on the left-hand side. Just waiting for him to break out, like he does at his club team. In the back, though, it's the same story. They're slow in the back.
Yeah.
For a Mexican national team, based on what we've seen in the past, this is a slow Mexican national team. We heard this at Nations League last year as well about Mexico, and everyone was complaining how they don't have any speed in the back. I don't know how you solve that problem, because I'm guessing that if people are seeing that this is a slow back four, and if managers after games are saying, hey, yeah, we thought we could exploit their back four with some speed, because I remember talking about this at the Nations League last year, maybe they just don't have fast guys playing in the back that are Mexican players currently in this cycle, right? Or else they try and figure it out. But I don't know. I almost feel like in a lot of ways we could, if you really went back, you could have predicted Mexico's lineup for like the last 5 or 6 years, and it's almost the same players.
Yeah. Now that back line is interesting. When we were coming through, you had Claudio Suarez, who's for me one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in CONCACAF history. Amazing, El Emperador. And then you had Rafa Marquez, played in 5 World Cup. I mean, they always seem to have this like next level defender that one had presence, leadership, but then just could pass. Really smart with how they unlocked, how they played, and I feel like they've lost a little bit in that back line, even with their outside backs.